What's good, YouTube? It's your girl April from Conversation with Soft Rain, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And tonight I have this is my very first. No, it's not gonna be my first live show. This is gonna be the first episode to Throne Thursdays, and I want to welcome everybody in. I know we don't have anybody in the chat yet. Big Skull was in here earlier. He was in here super early, and I really appreciate that. Hopefully, he'll come on back. But if it's your first time here, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it. And I'm gonna go ahead and get everything started. So I have a special guest, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring her up here. And her name is Trigger. And if you want to, hey, how you doing tonight?
Hey, hello everyone. My name is Brittany, aka The Trigger, and I am super excited to be on tonight for Throne Thursday. This is an awesome experience. I'm honored. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, definitely.
And yeah, thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started. Welcome back, Sko. I'm glad you're in the building. Welcome back. Welcome back. Make sure you share this, Sko, and let everybody know that we are live. We had some technical difficulties earlier, but we're gonna go ahead and get this thing running. We're gonna start off with our icebreaker, and we know that Trump gave his address yesterday, and he also announced that the military will be given a check for 1776, but I think there's some stipulations around it if I did my research correctly. So let's see what he says. We're gonna go ahead and play this.
Along with the just passed one big beautiful bill. Tonight I am also.
Oh, so you're not gonna talk to us, Mr. President? There we go.
450,000. Think of this: 1,450,000 military service members will receive a special we call warrior dividend. Before founding in 1776, we are sending every soldier $1,776. Think of that. And the checks are already on the way. Nobody understood that one until about 30 minutes ago. We made a lot more money than anybody thought because of tariffs, and the bill helped us along. Nobody deserves it more than our military, and I say congratulations to everybody. And by the way, we now have record enlistment in our military, and last year we had among the worst recruitment numbers in our military's history. What a difference a year makes.
I'm gonna play it one more time. One more time. We're gonna replay it. And of course. Oh, well, it doesn't want me to play it one more time. So as you heard, the Secretary of War has directed that department to pay eligible service members in grades Officer 6 and below a lump sum non-taxable housing supplement of $1,776.
Yeah, that's.
And it's supposed to be. Why is it doing it? There we go. There we go. And
okay?
So there was some background on it, and I got my information right here. But some background on it is Congress approved a $2.9 billion to the Department of War, a supplement of the basic housing allowance entitlement. So approximately like 1.28 million active component military members and 174 reservists will receive this supplement. But it all boils down to who can get it. Not every service member is going to qualify for it. And that's where I had an issue because Yeah, it's always a but, right. And so it would have been different if it was projected that way when he spoke about it. To me, when I first heard it, just listening to the address, it was like, oh, all service members are going to get this. But no, they're not. It's stipulations and it's a but. So is it really fair of him saying that all the service members are going to get it? Well, how do you feel about that?
I just feel like he is a very good at manipulating. He's a manipulator.
Mm,
And he would do certain things to look a certain way. Like he has to make it look like he's doing positive things,
mhm,
even though he doesn't fully understand everything he puts out there, in my opinion, and how it works. As far as the tariffs, all financial experts who looked at everything are saying they're not really generating as much money, as soon as he thinks it's going to happen, as much as he's trying to say it is. Um, so I think he made this move to, try to look like he is doing what he is saying. But we know it. To me, I just think it's not honest. It's not genuine, especially when you just said like there's so many stipulations that you have to meet to get it. So it's not going to be the number he said, like the number he listed of active members. He listed millions of people. It's
mhm.
not going to be that many because probably already 50% are cut off based on the stipulations you have to meet to even qualify for it. I'm not gonna really believe it until I see some service members saying they get seeing it in they check or however it's supposed to come. And
Right.
then there's other stipulations where you might only be able to use it for a certain thing. So is it really a bonus or whatever he said it was gonna be? It's just the way he manipulates things and says things, even though to me, he is just a very dishonest president, among other things. I'm not a big fan of Trump, but no offense to anyone who is. But that's just my thoughts on it. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Well, I mean, it would be it the delivery. It would have been different if he would have said some service members would be receiving, but the way I took it was that all service members will be receiving.
Hmm.
It,
Yeah.
it's always the delivery. It's always the message being projected. I would
Mm.
have been better with it, or I would have felt better about it if it was honestly spoken first and foremost
Genuinely,
when he
that's too
first
much
said
like
it. I
right
mean,
for
I get
him.
I get that he's excited, and he wants to share that he's gonna help the military, and of course, they absolutely deserve it. When they were furloughed because of the government
No, that's true.
shutdown, they wasn't receiving any pay, along with all the federal workers. So
Yeah.
absolutely, they deserve, some compensation other than, because you don't know what kind of debt these people got in. So that's
Right.
I just wanted to bring that out because some people, they watch the addresses, they watch what's being said, but what are the buts behind it? What those qualifications? Just like whenever we had the stimulus checks for the COVID, there was qualification, there was stipulations behind those, especially if you were married or single and you had dependents, you got all different, different
Mm.
money. So all Americans are getting a stimulus check, yes, but where's the but? What's after the but? What's after the comma? So I just wanted
Right.
a little bit because it when I was listening, it came to my attention. It's like a light bulb went off. Like, are you sure everybody's getting that 1776? That's a service member, So, but we can
I
move along
doubt
to
it.
our own topic tonight. We're going to talk about Tammy and Waka's divorce and what kind of revelation Tammy had. And, sometimes I think everybody or in relationships, we talk about leaving or staying, and I know tolerance is a big thing in relationships as well. But with that being said, when we get to losing respect for someone and not being able to, and then start increasing resentment. I don't think it's.
Mhm.
I think it's easier to leave once that respect starts to lessen and resentment starts to set in. So we're gonna see what Tammy says on it, okay? And then we're gonna let's see. Let's pull up. Let me play this.
For you, just like the cheat was the final straw for you. Just like the cheating thing, was that just
no, it actually wasn't. I like that was like it got to a point where that stopped.
okay?
It got to a point where he grew up and that wasn't the issue anymore. It was other little issues that we had within our marriage. Little inconsistencies that I would complain about over the years. But I think the marriage was so strained from past stuff. Like you have to heal. I wasn't healed. I was like, I found myself being like, don't touch me. Like, leave me alone, because I lost the respect. Like, once you go through so much stuff, like the more and more you go, it's like a scar each time and you become a different person.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize I was that person. And then, like now when I look back sometimes at certain things, I'm like, damn, I was a mean. But he was like, a part of him was giving like, damn, I deserve that. I did so much shit. I see why she talked to me like that. I see why she, you get what I'm saying? And he didn't deserve that either. And because at the same time, I chose to stay. So I chose to stay, and the outcome of me staying changed me. So now when he's changed for the better, I'm a bitch. It's not fair.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, and regardless, like people always like, well, it's his fault. He the reason why you was like that. Yeah, you can say that, but I also stayed. You know what I'm saying? So I have to take accountability too. I'm not making excuses for him, but like we were together in our 20s. We was together for 10 years. Like we grew a lot and learned a lot. And he grew, like I always say, like whoever he gets with the next, she's going to have a good man. Like I put in the footwork, damn it. But no, he's a great man. He's a great father. He's a great man. We just, our course had ran, like God put, it was, we met each other for a reason and a season, and, we will always be family. But, that's just what that is,
So, Miss Trigger, what's your take on it?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I muted myself. I have a lot of thoughts on situations like this. So I didn't do a brief intro, but I will now, just a second before I start talking about that. Like I do talk about relationships a lot. I'm a writer and I frequent different panels and different social media platforms talking about relationships and actually tending to focus on like the male dynamic and, just kind of my overall frustrations with a lot of the dating expectations and even expectations within marriage. I really do have a lot to say about that. So much so that I'm actually also, like I said, I'm a writer. I'm writing a book. A book is called How to Be a Man. It's not trying to be like dismissive or offensive to men. It's actually like a guide for men. And I actually am taking from other men authors and other women authors who have really great commentary on manhood. So I'm putting it all together. And a lot of what I talk about centers around relationships and relationship dynamics and how people, do feel really lost out here as far as the dating world goes, and even into marriage. It bleeds over into like toxic marriages, and that's why so many people are leaving these marriages. So this very much aligns with a lot of the talking points that I have concerning helping men to relate to women better, to be better boyfriends and husbands, and just the whole ideology that's set up around men and women roles and what is expected of a man, what is expected of a woman. Is so much, in that that needs to be unpacked and really understood for us to move forward better. But yeah, I heard what she was saying. This young lady, and absolutely, it seems like she was just at her breaking point. At some point, you are just not going to sit there and take. And even if, like she was saying, he did all this crazy stuff in the beginning, and now he's trying to do better, right? But you still holding on to resentment because it hurts. It hurts when you lose trust in a relationship. And I think a lot of men don't understand how much it hurts and how much healing has to happen behind a person who decides to stay with someone who's cheating on them. I mean, like, men really hold respect and loyalty so high. And so they feel fully betrayed if their woman, were to cheat on
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
They
Absolutely.
feel like their world is destroyed, right? And so I
Yeah.
just don't understand, why can't you apply that to her? She is just as valuable. She is just, as worthy of loyalty as you are. And so if you stepped out on her just because you're a man, and to add a layer with Waka, you're a famous man, you feel like you get this pass to be out and just, oh, this is what guys do. And no, it's not that simple. You have destroyed the trust of your relationship. You have
Oh, yeah.
broken it. And even though, she might, be in love with you enough to stay and try to forgive, there's a healing process that has to happen that is often overlooked, right? If a woman decides to
Right.
stay, a lot of men will overlook. They'll be like, okay, yeah, of course, you're going to forgive me because I was just doing what a man do, and I really love you. I don't care about these HOEs or whatever the the apology includes. It's usually something dismissive like that, like, I don't care about them. I hold you above these other women, and it's just what men do, but I'm gonna do my best to stop. Like, all of that is usually given when a woman decides to stay. And that is not really giving her time to heal, or you taking full accountability for what you have done. You have destroyed the trust in this relationship. That is a
Right.
huge deal. And so even if a woman forgives you and decides to stay, a lot of men overlook the fact that what accountability for that type of action really looks like. And with that leaves a woman feeling bitter. It's going to increase resentment. It's going to build up. Even if you as the man are doing better, and okay, now I'll cut off all these girls, and I'm really just focused on you, you still haven't given her the accountability that how should look to help her heal. And because of that, she's still growing this resentment, and that's going to spill over one of these days. And so that's either going to look like her being dishonest and cheating back without telling you, or
Right.
that's going to look like her leaving after just being like, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're trying to reap all the rewards as if you've done this big thing, and I'm still over here broken because you broke my heart, and it's like you don't really care that you did that.
Right.
And so I get it. I get it 100%. And I think if men were just more cognizant to understand that it takes more than that when you've done this, it's a huge deal. Just like you think it would be a huge deal she did to you should understand how huge a deal it is that you did it to her. And I think that's where the disconnect comes in. It's just not understanding that taking accountability in the right way for cheating, as a man. So I think
Yeah.
that's where he went wrong, and why she felt like that, and why it kept building, and why she's like, I'm done. And I just think it's logical and it's understandable. So
For someone to leave
that's kind of
in that way
yeah.
instead of resenting. I think she saw herself starting that resentment started to set in because it's like, ooh, don't touch me. It's like,
Hmm.
don't touch me anymore. So when she started feeling that way, she would rather walk away than go cheat, or stay somewhere unhappy. So if she didn't have that
Yeah.
resentment in her or start to feel that respect being lost, I think they would still be together somehow. But like she said,
Yeah.
too, they grew they started in their early 20s. They were together for 10 years. And some people, honestly, they just grow apart. They do. They just grow
Yeah,
apart. Yeah. hmm So I do have a couple
absolutely.
comments. We want to welcome Miles. Thank you for watching, Miles. Thank you for coming and watching. And Passport Skull said, "What's the word, bro?" And he also said Waka was cheating on her before they got married. So she knew this information when they got married and still chose to say I do, but she didn't make better decisions as a woman. Mm. So she
Mm.
chose to marry him in light of the infidelity too. So how do you feel about that?
I still feel the same. It's just like if you're marrying somebody, usually you're saying that I'm committing to you. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
okay, you're this big time guy. You're just you're Waka. You're known. You're famous. You're always on a road, possibly. Most likely, doing your music, and I'm your girlfriend. And so okay, maybe in that respect, cheating is a little bit more like I really don't want to know about it, but it's what you
Mm-hmm.
do. But when you decide to marry me, I'm thinking that okay, you know that I've been here in your corner, and now you're committing to me. Um, so yeah, I think the expectation is that you're gonna stop doing this because we're in a different level now, and you
Right.
still didn't stop. And yes, there's a level of accountability. You know the type of lifestyle he lives, what I'm saying? And I just don't think since she's saying she built resentment from that she
Mm-hmm.
went into the marriage thinking like, oh, that's just what he does. I really think she went into the marriage. I think he was telling her that he was going to be committed to her in
Oh
marriage.
yeah, definitely. Or I don't
And
even think she would
you're
agree
not going to be
to
like,
marry.
oh yeah, I accept you marrying and I'm accept you cheating too. Like that's not what it was. So if he gave her the go ahead or the green light that okay, I'm committing to you, and then
Mm-hmm.
he still was cheating, that's still on him.
Right.
That is still on him for not being honest. And I also will say that like let's say like in a perfect world, he was like, this is just my lifestyle right now. Let me get it out of my system, but I still want to marry you. And she agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Even in that, you know what I'm saying? Like people try to give people grace. And commitment is commitment at the end of the day. Loyalty is loyalty. You don't want her going around having sex with other men.
Right.
And I mean, what do you expect? You out here with other women, you could be bringing me back an STD or anything. So of course I don't want you to touch me, right? You're supposed to
Right.
be loyal and you're, decidedly not. That's
Yeah.
just whether I agree to or not, that's gonna get to you at the wild anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I still think it's valid for her to just be over it and trying to
Mhm.
leave because it's still a huge issue whether you know about it or not. And that's something that I just think a lot of men don't comprehend. So, but yeah.
So going back, let's go back to when marriages lasted. When
Hmm.
when when grandmama and big mama and Gigi Ma, whoever, didn't leave after all the infidelities. They tolerated the infidelities. They knew what was going on. What do you think has changed generational wise to where um, women feel like, or it's easier for them to leave? I think nowadays, or I feel as though nowadays, women are quicker to leave than stay and be tolerable or tolerate what's going on.
Hmm.
So what do you think generation wise changed it? Because I feel, well, I'll tell you this: social media, societal expectations have showed us, have encouraged women to leave. Girl, he ain't doing what he's supposed to do. Get on out of there. You don't have to stay. But
Hmm.
back when Big Mama, Madeir, and all of them were coming up and being married, and these marriages that have lasted 40, 50 years, they didn't have the social media and society telling them what to do with their marriage. So do you feel the same about that?
Hmm.
That that's the reason why marriages aren't lasting as long and women are quick to leave now too?
Well, that's kind of what I want to talk about in my book too. Is
Mhm.
like I think that has always kind of been a toxic premise of the whole kind of dependency, like as if women for a very long time, we had to have a man or whatever to do anything in society. uh, a lot of the times, like to buy property, to do certain things, we could not do a lot
Right.
of things without man. And
Yeah.
so it was always built on this toxic premise as if women don't have agency or, autonomy. And
Mhm.
so then a lot of women stayed in these marriages because of necessity, dependency. Like, I gotta
Mhm.
stay with you. I can't take care of these kids or these bills, and I don't want to, alone. So if you gotta go get your thing out or whatever, just come back and do, your job. And then also just comfortability and just like you get comfortable as long as, you're not bringing it to the house and everything else is I guess, moderately okay, then
Mhm.
people were just able to kind of settle and keep it together and just do what they do. But I do think that, yes, more women are feeling more empowered to leave. I think
Mhm.
because we're able to get the same jobs a lot of the times and take care of ourselves and be self-sufficient. The whole saying is cliche, but I could do bad all by myself, right? Like,
Right.
if you're not going to help me, like, I
Mhm.
am going to leave. I don't have to stay here because I can take care of myself. I think that's
Right.
been the biggest thing for women who stay in toxic relationships or just relationships where they're unhappy. It's just they don't leave because they don't have the means to take care of themselves. And that's sad. It's
Yeah.
sad because you're literally with a person just because you have to be there, right? You're only with the person because this is how I feed myself and my kids.
Mhm.
As a man, you shouldn't want a woman to be with you just because she has to, right? You
Right.
should, you shouldn't want a woman to just be with you because you supply everything. And then, like, out there, if she's out there by herself, she ain't gonna be able to make it on her own.
Mhm.
Like that's such a regressive mindset to have around why you want your woman to be with you. You should want your woman to be with you because she wants to be there. And so I just think more women are just more cognizant of their value, cognizant of being alone is better than being with somebody who makes you feel like crap,
Mhm.
and so it's more of that. It's more empowerment. And I think a lot of men look at that as a bad thing, but it's actually a beautiful thing that women have, you know, gotten this confidence. Like, I don't need to stay with you for dependency. If you're treating me badly, I can leave. And then I think men will turn that into, women don't want us no more or they don't need us no
Mhm.
more. So, they just want to be by themselves. No, we want to be treated with respect, just like you do. And until you learn that, we'll be chilling by ourselves. We'll be cool by ourselves as long as we need to be. But we're not going to stay somewhere where we're not fully respected. Just like you demand respect, women demand respect as well. I think that's the bottom line of it. We're just not going to take anything. And it's a growing number of women who's like, we're not going to sit there and stay there and take anything. And so I think that's a great thing. I think that's a beautiful thing that needed to happen because we do deserve that respect, to be respected and not have to just, take whatever the man gives us because we can't pay the rent. That's like a horrible situation to be in. So.
So ultimately, I understand, but ultimately, it's more than just um respect, right? I mean, and I know independence comes along with, a woman being able to take care of herself and being able to make her own decisions and whatnot. But where we lose sight of that though is, do we really want to be out here without provision? Do we really want to be out here without protection? I desire to have a man
Mm.
in my life. You know what I'm saying? Independency is okay, but I desire to have provision and protection from a man, you know, but being respected though while providing those provisions and protection. So it's tough on women wanting to leave because of infidelity, but then they lose out on the provision and the protection.
Mm.
So we'll get some of these comments, and that's a perfect segue into this next topic too. So Miles Batchelor, he said cheating is the action, but something led to that point. It's not just something men do. And School said if he was like that before they got married, she should have known he was going to be like that when they got married, because that's what the saying, once a cheater is always a cheater. Do you believe that once a cheater is always a cheater? Because she said, I think she said in that interview, if I'm not mistaken, I only pulled a piece of it out, that the infidelity has stopped.
Yeah. She said
But
the next woman that's going to get him is going to get a better man. So she
right,
acknowledged that he was doing better.
right.
And that he probably was stepping up to the plate and not stepping out. I believe that wholeheartedly. But sometimes when you're, like I said, when your heart is broken
Mm-hmm.
and your trust is destroyed and you're in a place where, you didn't heal, somebody else doing better is not enough to
Right.
fully heal that, to make you get out of that type of mindset concerning that person.
Right.
So
Mindset could have been a valley in the relationship or something else. And that's true.
what do you mean, a valley?
A valley. I guess they were going. Miles, can you elaborate on the valley in the relationship?
Oh, like a low point.
A low point, yeah. That they went through. And maybe they were going through another valley when she just decided that she didn't want to come up the hill anymore. Maybe. I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah, Sco said that's why you keep your relationship off of social media. Believe half of what you see. That's when we were talking about. I always say societal expectations and social media has changed the way relationships are portrayed and believed and all that good stuff. So it's social media has changed a woman's desire, what she wants from a man as well. I believe that. So. But
You said social media has changed what a woman wants from a man?
Absolutely. I think it influences what they want from a man, because they see other women that post on social media, oh, my man did this, my man does that. So their desires, even though they may have had a certain type of man or a certain want and a need from a man, if that woman is boasting her joy from my man doing this, and this for me, then that woman's gonna think, well, if her man's doing this for her and she's joyous about it, then that's maybe that might be what I want. So, and then Miles said correct, rough patch. So that's what the valley was, a rough patch. So this, when we were talking about protection and provision and everything, that's what's gonna come up with this next topic. Let me pull that up so we can watch the video on that. Share this tab, and we're gonna add it. And this is coming from 8 at the table. So let me. Why is it doing that? StreamYard, y'all bear with me. StreamYard is acting funny. So hang on 1 second. We're gonna see if I can do it here. We're gonna stop that. So y'all bear with me 1 second. I'll do this.
You've been doing really great, by the way.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Let's see. That's not that one. It's this one. Nope, it's not that one. It's this one. All right, here we go.
Because I'm telling you that that's how I am as a woman. So if I'm with a man, like, I'd rather be at home with the care of the home.
Can you give me another example?
You're outside.
Okay. Can you give me another example of tradition that is not based around
But
finance.
that's tradition. The woman role and the man role. The man is the provider. The woman is the
But it's not always
the one that cares for the home.
But it's not always based around finance. There's some traditional things.
I'm taking care of the children. I'm taking care of the house. That has nothing to do with finance.
So you don't believe that in today's world that you can maintain doing both?
I think that's unfair to the woman
You're already doing it.
Correct. But if I have a man in my life,
So that absolves you of everything.
and that is why women are single,
Wait.
because it's like they rather do it by themselves, just like a man rather do it by himself.
The message that you're putting out there is that this is tradition. This is how it should go. And no, how it should go is me and you come together as two independent people,
Correct.
and we figure out how to make this house work.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who would say, hey, you know what? You want to be a Fortune 500.
That is still more tradition. Like that is a more traditional. If you go back, that's how it was. Women didn't have rights. Women couldn't work. Women couldn't do.
But
shit.
you got them today.
Stay home.
No, but
That's what I mean when I say tradition, guys. Like I mean, like I'm talking about old age. I would have been better off in the old days, guys. Like for real. Like I would have been better off in the old days because I would have been a great mom at home, cooking, cleaning, stuck in, and that's it. I would have been good. Like I would have been good for
she
real.
threw me off.
Like, I'm being honest. Like I'm not for this time. Like,
Where's my camera again? Where's this one? This one. Fellas, like the fellas need to hear this. Fellas, I want you to know, and this is me. I'm your brother. I'm your brother. I want you to know. There are women out there that want to build with you, not build with tradition. I'm not speaking against her because what is good for her, what's good for you works for you. I want you to know that. I'm telling you, my brothers, who are now growing in this era where that is becoming a thing. And it sounds, what she's saying is, I don't think she's saying that she would not fall in love with the person, but the message should come across as that. I want you to know that there are women out there that will not put that standard on you and will actually take the time to get to know you and grow with you. And that has been my issue in trying to date. And having to decipher between the women who want that, who also want to take the time to get to know me before they even decide if they want to actually be with me.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed that clip.
So what's your thoughts on that?
So, I have a lot of thoughts on that. So yes, that is what our society is kind of structured as, right? A man is a provider, the woman takes care of the house. And so because society has sold that version of what I guess a good marriage is supposed to look like, that is what many women desire. They are looking for these men who can take care of the entire household financially, so that they don't have to work and contribute financially to the house and can just focus on taking care of him, the house, and the kids that are to come. I may already be there if they have like prior kids. But the thing is, in this economy today, it's just very unrealistic that one income is going to be able to take care of a full household, like full everything.
I totally agree with that.
It's just unrealistic, that the majority of people, okay, like 80% of people in this country, one income is not going to be able to take care of an entire household. Or like if it's two incomes, it's always better. Like I know one of my friends from work, her daughter is like a surgeon and she married another surgeon. So they have a household. They both bring in like 200,000 K plus. So like who wouldn't want that surplus of money? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like now you got a household running 400 plus K. Like y'all doing good. Like it's always great to have more income. Like if you're trying to just build in this life, it's always great. Even if one income can do it for just taking care of the bills and everything, you always want to increase your income. So if the woman can bring in income too, then you can use her income for something else if the man's income can take care of all the house things, right? For travel or for savings or whatever the case may be. But the whole
Definitely.
point of, that structure of the husband providing and the woman taking the house is because, a woman is going to go through certain stresses and everything when she's having a baby. And so she shouldn't, have to be, required to work while she's also trying to help grow a life in her body and then produce it. And she shouldn't have to be, required to work in those situations. So, but that's just like a perfect world. That's not going to be the situation for most people. Most people are going to have to work, even when they're pregnant. They're going to have to work. There is time where you get off, but it's just how the society is, how the jobs are. It's not, as many 6-figure job opportunities as people like to make it seem. It's not that attainable in a lot of regards. It is possible for a lot of people, but for most people, it's not. So I get the women who are out here. Everybody. I don't think anybody should be discouraged from desiring the best situation. So yeah, I want to meet somebody who's rich enough so I don't have to work and I can just take care of the house. That's okay to want. Okay, but I also don't feel like it's practical, especially with as many women who want to be married. You should definitely be open to just getting to know a person and being okay if both of y'all have to work. But then there's certain dynamics that aren't going to work in that situation. Like, I'm not going to just be taking care of the house and making sure you got dinner every night if I'm working too, right? If we're both
That's what I was
working, then
gonna ask you.
dynamics change.
How do those gender roles work if both parties are working?
Exactly. And so these men, though, especially like on a podcast or whatever we just listen to, they want their woman to come in working, right? They want their woman to add financially, but they also want their woman to clean the whole house, do the laundry, have dinner ready. They want all of that. And that's the part that we're just like, we'd rather be single, or someone would be like, you're expecting me to do all of this, but I'm working too. That's just it just doesn't go together, right? So I see both sides. I think women should be more open to, not looking at just finances and just, it's okay if he's not making 6 figures, girl. He's a good man. He's a good man. But also, we need to understand that these gender roles are really not a thing. It's what works best at the time, because especially with women getting jobs too, you can meet a woman who is making $200K or 100K or making 6 figures and you're not. So maybe the best option, especially if y'all got little kids, is for the man to be home for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's just what works for every couple is going to be different for every couple. It can't be generalized. It just cannot. And so even if she's a stay-at-home mom, the man should still be willing to come home and help with the house duties, come home and help with raising the kids. It shouldn't just all, parenting. If you're going to have both parents are needed, no matter which one is working or no matter which one is stay at home. They both are needed. So I mean, it's a complicated situation, and I get that men are kind of a little apprehensive, especially since all they hear these women talk about, oh, I need 6 figures, or I need this man to take care of me, or I don't want to work. But it's really about women just looking for the best situation to go into as far as dedicating their life to another person, being kind of protective in that. It's not really an affront to men so much as it is like self-preservation, and not wanting to go into a situation where I'm working, you want me to work too, but you're also expecting me to be your maid and your mom and your cook. And so it's just like, it's give and take. It's a complicated situation. It's case by case. It's not really a blanket you can put over this as far as expectations and what people should want and what they shouldn't.
So can we roll it back to when you said that even if she is a stay-at-home mom, you expect the dad to come home from work to parent the kid too? I mean, I understand parenting, but as far as like getting them ready for bed, making sure they got dinner and whatnot, what kind of in that dynamic where the mother is at home, a stay-at-home mom, the dad is a sole provider, what give me your opinion, because I don't think I totally agree on that. Give me your opinion on his roles as being a parent when he comes home from work.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, a father has to be present. A father needs to be like, when we're talking about rearing children and we're talking about, single parenthood, especially when a lot of these conversations love to single out single mothers, right?
Of course.
And the villain a lot of times too, which is so crazy in my opinion, since she's the one who actually decided to stay. But that's not his topic, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But when you talk about that, you're like, this child needs a father, right? They need that father figure. Mm-hmm. What is the father figure going to do if he's at work all the time, coming home just to sleep and then going to work? He's still not present. So that child still doesn't have a father figure if the father is not contributing to taking care of the kids too. You know what I'm saying? He has to spend time with the kids. He has to be there. The kids have to have intimacy with him and love him and love when he gets home, because when he gets home, he makes time for them. That should be part of it. The woman is not the sole person who's raising the kids. It's both of y'all raising the kids, no matter who's working. And so, yes, even if the mom is a stay-at-home mom, mm-hmm. you got most of the duties. I believe that for the stay-at-home dads too. You make sure the house is clean, make sure things are running, and usually you're probably going to be the one paying the bills, with the money, that's come from the bed or whatever. Just make sure that the house is running good and making sure the kids have what they need. But it's a full-time job and it's exhausting. And so, yeah, she's going to need a break too. When she gets home, when you get home, she's not just gonna be ready for you, to feed you and then have sex with you when she literally been, overly taking care of the kids and exhausted. She's not always gonna just want to be ready for that. But if you make an effort to help her with the housely duties, you make an effort to help her with the kids. Like, hey, baby, I know you've been with the kids all day. Let me take them. Go take a nap. Go take care of yourself. That is going to make her want to serve you more and want to be a better wife to you and help and do, what she needs to do to take care of you. You have to take care of her too. Even if you're taking care of the bills, you still got to take care of her at home as well. So I'm not saying a woman just not going to do anything. She's her main job is the house and the kids, but you have to help with that, even if you're the sole provider.
So one thing I've run across on these panels is multiple wives or sister wives or polygyny. And what you just said about her being exhausting or exhausted and her not being able to be there for her man because she is that stay-at-home mom and she's been with the kids all day long. How do you feel about polygyny?
Are you a positive person for polygyny?
I am not. I do not like to share.
Okay, I just wanted to check and make sure. So are you?
No, I mean, I expect
fighting for it.
I respect everybody's opinions on it. Like the men, I've mostly run across men. I've never run across any women who were for it. So it would be interesting to hear if you are for it. It would be interesting to hear your side on it because for the like I said, the last 7-8 months of me being on these panels, gentlemen have been trying to convince me that is the way to go.
Brought up poly. Of course they do.
Yeah.
All these forums about men and women and roles and marriage are the same. These conversations get so consistent across the board because people want the same things. And a lot of people just kind of want to have their cake and eat it too, especially the men, and it's just not that Gucci. as people want it to be. I think multiple wives is a horrible idea. I think these men don't know how to take care of one wife, let alone multiple. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you really want to be there for your, partner, for your spouse, there's so much that goes into that. Even if you're the sole provider and she's taking care of the house and she's doing a good job and you're doing a good job providing, as the man, you still have to be there emotionally for this woman. You still have to be there. There's still a reciprocation of, I need to take care of you emotionally. And that has to be reciprocated on both ends, especially it needs to come from the man in some level. At least he needs to be trying to connect with her and care about her emotional well-being, right? And that takes time, it takes effort, it takes intimacy, it takes, making sure the relationship is still, fun and active, and y'all possibly try to go out at least once a month or something. And you know what I'm saying? That takes time, and all that time, can you imagine having to do that for two women? like it's just not, it's men trying to have their cake and eat it too. Men trying to increase the pot, like, oh, well, more women will bring more finances so we can do more things. Cut the crap. You just want another woman to bed. You just want all the perks that you think come with this, but you're not thinking of all the, if you really want two women or more, the really righteous thing to do in having multiple wives is to have each one with their own home. So that's just more of a financial burden on you if you have multiple wives, because you're really supposed to be able to provide a whole house for each one. That's really how it's supposed to go, So, I mean, if you want to look at it like from the biblical standpoint that a lot of people try to bring up. So just think of having to solely provide for multiple households because you want these multiple wives, right? So what usually happens more often than not, right? Everybody's in the same house. That just causes division and strife on so many levels. I can't tell you how many people I've met who grew up in those environments who are like, it was just nothing but drama and turmoil. Because it's already, if you have a lot of kids, if you have more people in the house, it's going to be turmoil. It's going to be drama. That's just going to increase with more wives. It is. But I've met a lot of guys who even found people to be on board. I say I'm not a hater, right? I just don't think it's going to work long term. I think people are going to fall through the cracks. I think people are going to get hurt. Emotions are going to get hurt. And because they signed up for it, they might just stick with it. But I just do not think polygyny works long term. However, if you like it, I love it. If everybody's honest, if everybody's communicating, and you guys can make it work, and y'all aren't lying to each other, everybody's putting everything on the table, and y'all really are trying to make it work, kudos to you. I wish the best for you. It can work. I think on some level it can work if everybody's being honest, if everybody's understanding the expectations, everybody's putting into the pot and doing their part. I think it actually could be a wonderful setup. But I just know how people work. I know how women work. I know people are going to get jealous and all other stuff is going to come up. It's not going to be as simple as people want it to be. But if those things were not there, if the strife was not there, if people were not going to get jealous and everybody was cool, it could be an amazing setup, honestly. But I just don't think it is practical, and I don't think it works long term. But people can try it, and I know people who are trying it. So,
okay, before we move on, before we get into the comments, I might ask you one more thing about polygamy. It's often said that if it was legalized, more women would be for it. What's your opinion on that?
I think that's true, because a lot of women do want to be married, and a lot of women are just really on board with, having a man who does present to be a huge provider and like a leader. And so I think a lot of women would jump on board. with that lifestyle if it was legalized. I think that is true. I think more women would consider it. Um, I think that is true. But like, so I even have a really personal friend. I knew him in college very well.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was in a marriage, it didn't work out. And then he got into this relationship with two girls. And he was like, "We're really waking us way." I'm like, "That's awesome." So I went to New Orleans. Where did I go? Oh, to Mardi Gras. And I met up with them. And I met him and his two girls, the two women he was with. And they were awesome. And we had a great time. And I was like, "This might work for you, friend." Because he, like, all through college, he was like this serious monogamous. He never really cheated, but he always had a new girlfriend. He was always like locked in. And so he was a cool guy, really, really cool guy. But so he was really trying polygyny. And I think because like I actually knew these terms really well at one point. Polygamy is when it's like you can have your triads and your quads where people all are, invested in a relationship. It cannot just be one man and a lot of girls, but everybody's in a relationship together. So polygyny is when everybody is together. So like no matter if it's two girls and one guy or two girls and two guys, everybody's in a relationship with each other. Like everybody's swapping spit and stuff.
Right.
Polygamy is when it's just the one man with his multiple wives and none of the wives mingle with each other or anything. It's just they're all in connection to just him. So it's like two different things. Polygamy is that. Polygyny is when everybody's in a relationship, like the girls with the girls, the guys with the girls, or the guys, whatever. so it's so many different setups with that. And like I said, I think some people make it work for a while, but I just don't think it's practical in any situation long term. But yeah, I think more people would be open to it if they made it legal. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to read some of these comments from Miles. He said, "These new adults want the money without working for it. Is that accurate or no?" Are you referring to women wanting providers instead of not necessarily going 50-50, but
he said these new adults want the money without working for it. That's true. People want the big checks. They don't want to do the work. That's so true.
Yeah, some women they're serial. I call them serial searchers. They're always searching for the next best thing or the next man that has the most money.
Yeah, that is a thing too.
Yeah. Sko said, "I don't care how much she is making. I still want my woman to come home and cook, even with me knowing how to cook. It's nothing like a woman's touch in the kitchen." I hear you, Sko.
I think that's possible. Just she ain't gonna be doing the cooking every day. Okay, you gonna have to cook some days.
You have to be a general manager. You have to learn how to, know how to run your household, know how to run your menu. If you put a crock pot dinner on for 2 days, y'all eat on that for 2 days, and then another dinner on Wednesday.
Facts, practicality, absolutely.
Yep. So, Miles said, what did he say? There we go. Miles said, "Absent father narrative isn't entirely true, at least in my peer group." So he went back to talking about when you were saying absent fathers being in the house, the main provider being in the house, coming in and working, and that be it. So,
I mean, I don't know what you mean if it's not true. If the father is not interacting with the kids, they aren't having a fatherly presence to raise them. That's not really something that you can really gauge though until they get older, right? And they're just gonna be like, "Well, yeah, I knew my dad was around, but I didn't really know him. I wasn't connected to him, And I mean, there's other way around it. You don't have to. Maybe if you're too tired on the day you get home, you should be off on weekends, at least one weekend out the month or something. So maybe those weekends you spend time with them. But kids need to spend time with their follow too. There needs to be raised by their father too. Or you come up with that whole situation where these women are like, I'm married, but I'm a single mother because they're doing literally everything. And the guy's barely doing anything. He might be providing all the time, but if you're not in your children's lives, that's going to make a lasting impression, even if you're providing. That's the same thing go for single mothers too, right? A lot of kids who grow up in single mother households do end up feeling neglected because their mom was working all the time.
Oh,
So they
absolutely.
didn't get that time with their mother because their mom was working. Absolutely, the mother, from the parents' point of view, you're doing everything for your child. But if they don't have that connection with you, they're not going to feel like they're being taken care of by you. They're not going to feel that intimacy that is needed for, a good person to be, have what they need, basically to be raised. They need that intimacy with their parent, so.
And as a single mother where the father is absent, I make sure I do my due diligence with spending time with my son, getting him out, having him experience different things, going on trips, seeing new places, new experiences, museums, anything that, to intrigue his mind, to let him know that there's places outside of where we are right now. There's a whole world to experience.
Yeah.
And then spending that time with him every day, sitting down after work and after school and digesting the day and getting everything organized and together for the next day. So I really think that parents, even if you are a single parent, single mothers, make sure I know it's tough. I'm there. I've been doing this for 10 years. I know it's tough. But you got to make sure outside of work that you're spending time with your children and actually giving them a part of you as a parent,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's tough. It just brings tears in my eyes a little bit, but yeah.
It is tough.
Yeah,
I know you're doing an amazing job.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. Every day I try. Sko said in my classic voice, and where is classic? In my classic voice, she's not there for him, she's there for you. He's talking about having multiple wives. So that woman is not there for the wife, she's not there for him. She's not there for him, she's there to help you in the house. You say you're exhausted, I got you 2 more hands. That's basically what he's saying. Yeah. See, I see your face. And Miles said it's not.
Okay.
Miles said it's
okay. So then you're not having sex with it.
See, it's not.
Okay, but she's there for me.
She's an extra set of hands for you, but I mean,
and an extra pussy for you. Sorry, if we're trying to.
Miles, but see, they don't want to talk about that part. They don't want to talk about
We don't want to talk about that.
Miles said it's not new. It's been around for thousands of years. However, it conflicts with Western culture, laws, and etc. Yeah. So that's Miles, that's why I always ask, or it's always said that if it was legalized, then more women would be okay with it. Because you
can tell the ones who want this polygyny thing.
Oh yeah. And of course men do say that we're sharing anyway, so legalize it to where we don't have to necessarily share.
Well, if men weren't such whoremongers, then we wouldn't be sharing anyway.
Ooh.
Learn some dick discipline. How about that?
Hello. I agree with that part. Sko said, "Thank you, Miles. Someone understands.
I bet y'all understand."
So you was telling us about your book. When do you plan on having it finished and published and put out?
So my book has been taking a long time, honestly. Yeah. But I have a goal of finishing it by March of next year. Okay. So that is my date to have it released. I'm gonna at least get it done. Actually, hopefully by like end of January, February. So then I can work on the release, like promoting it, getting it edited, and I'm already working on a book. What do you call agent? I have a book agent. So I'm trying to do a lot of different things.
A publishing agent.
Yeah. And I'm trying to get my book published. I really want to do it big if I can. Like that's why I'm trying to work with the agent to see if they can get me into like one of the bigger publishing companies, because I really think this book is going to be very helpful to like hopefully, you know, hundreds of thousands of people. Like, should it be that famous? And so yeah, I'm really hopeful about that. I'm gonna see how things go with the book agent, and yeah, but be looking for my book around March and hopefully sooner. But I'm giving myself in. I'm trying to write in my book every day because I wasn't writing in it for a long time. But I've been coming out of my ideas this whole time. It's been like about 2 years so far, but I really do want to finish it in the next like 3 months. So.
Okay, so we wish you the best of luck on that. And of course, I want to invite you back because, like I said, this is a new show. This is my very first episode. So if you're willing and whenever, thank you. If you're willing and whenever you're available, I would love to have you back. I will make sure we stay in contact. And while I have you here, and everybody, Miles said congrats on the book.
Thank you so much.
And so you make sure you keep us informed of when your book does come out so we can support. And we always support. We always anybody around us that has things going on, we make sure we buy and support. So that's one thing. We're just a big family here. We do have a live show in Darien, Illinois on February 13th. We're doing a live Valentine's panel. It's called Singles and Soulmates. Yes, you should come out. I don't know where you're located, but you should come out. We have tickets on sale now, and they're on sale for a discounted price. It's going to be February 13th at 7 o'clock at the Q Bar in Darien, Illinois. This is a Chicago suburb. And I'm going to play the promo, and then we'll get up out of here. And I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you coming through because
thank you for having me. I really had a good time. We had a good conversation. It was really
good. Yes,
I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. So we're going to put this up here and play this promo, and we're going to get on out of here.
They don't like it when you got that glow. And one thing they hate worse than you having that glow is when you know you got that glow. They don't like that. They don't like that at all. So give them a reason to keep hating on us. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, or farming home up in rank. Step in the room, they paid away. I get treated like a milli tank. Southpaw like I'm really tank. I do things that they really can't. Envious, cause they really ain't. I'ma win any type of way. That's a parlay you could take to the bank. That's a parlay you could take to the bank. Know some people I love, put some smut on my name. Real life, I'ma still love them the same. I'ma love them from
All right. So that's our promo. We're going, like I said, February 13th. It's going to be a live panel. We got a performance by B Class. He's going to do a performance, and tickets are on sale now. The link is in our bio. Well, no, the link is in the description to this video to the tickets. We also have merch. That's up. We have a site with our merch that's in there, and the link is in the bio for that. And I want to thank everybody who came through, who watched tonight, and who participated in the chat. Passport Skull, we appreciate you. And Miles, of course, we always appreciate you coming through. And we will catch y'all next time. I appreciate you coming. I can't wait to do this again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
See y'all later. Queens, don't forget to like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, and share this with someone who needs it. And remember, her voice, her truth, her throne.